Welcome everybody to the New Look 3 Count podcast. Look, we've had a hiatus, but we're back, we're refreshed, we're reinvigorated, and we're ready to continue chatting about the wonderful world of professional wrestling. Joining me, say his name and he'll appear, I believe, in Ben Hobden. Benny, welcome back to the show.
Mate, we're back. Beers in hand. Cheers. Welcome back.
Cheers.
It has been a while, mate, but, we're good. We're good to go. And SummerSlam, what a way to start.
It's the biggest party of the summer.
That's it.
Look, we're pumped. We've got an awesome card coming up.
Big card.
We're going to take you through all our match predictions. We'll have a new segment called the 3 Count 3. We're going to chat a little AEW. And we're back to drafting today. We're going to draft the best ever moments from SummerSlam. Follow us on the socials at 3 Count Podcast on Instagram, at 3 Count Pod on Facebook. Hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you watch or listen to us. Let's get into it, Benny. It's time for what we like to call the 3 Count 3. Now, we're each going to pick 3 bits of news or just something that's going on in the world of wrestling.
Got our attention.
That we're going to chat about and spitball off each other. So let's start with your 3, Benny.
I guess the first one, the big one of the day, Shane O'Mac meeting with Tony Khan.
Yeah, photo evidence.
And apparently Mercedes Moné has taken credit for the photo. She's come out and said, I took that photo. Shane doesn't look happy.
Have you seen? Tony Khan was, hey!
Yeah. I had to zoom in a few times. And the more you look at it from afar, you can tell it's Shane O'Mac. When I zoomed in, I was like, he looks bald. It doesn't look right. What do we think?
Yeah, look, it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, there's been talk about it. He spoke to JR, obviously. There's, vision of him talking to Mercedes in an airport, which all could just be coincidence, but now in an office with TK, that sounds pretty serious to me.
AEW Underground, here we go.
Wow, a McMahon in AEW.
That's crazy. Imagine though if he just comes out at All In and goes, there is a McMahon name on the contract. Should we rehash that? No, anyway. But I think it's big news. I think it's pretty crazy.
It's huge news.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what happens with it, but yeah, Shane O'Mac in AEW,
Shane O'Mac. It's all about the money, eh?
It is all about the money. What else you got?
Well, you brought it up when you said, say my name and he appears. Joe Hendry. Now, he's been...
What a sensation.
Oh, so good. He's been approved to stay at the Performance Centre, which is good, which means we're going to see more of him. So you do say his name and he appears.
Yeah.
But just on Joe Hendry, if you haven't gone down the rabbit hole of Joe Hendry on Facebook and look at some of his independent stuff, oh my gosh. I've sent you a couple of clips, but... it's so hard not to go down the rabbit hole, and everything he does is just hilarious.
It's gold.
And he just sings beforehand. He makes up these songs. When he versed Drew McIntyre, he did "I'm Drew" to the sound of "I'm Blue" by Eiffel 65.
Drew, ba-da-wee-da-boo-da.
Oh, so good, but it's just so many. So do yourselves a favour, jump on and just go Joe Hendry rabbit hole.
The Scotty Too Hottie one is very good too.
Yes, very good as well.
And look, he's got a once in a lifetime kind of deal. Maybe this will become the norm. I don't know. But yeah, he can wrestle for NXT. He can wrestle for TNA. He can train at the Performance Center. And he can do independent shows and signings.
Yeah,
so
he's laughing.
Yeah.
He's got the ultimate contract, essentially.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, Benny.
White 6. What do we think?
I think they're doing a good job of, making it so it's not as supernatural. They're just more these, downcast characters.
Well, they were unmasked essentially this week.
I did not think that was Dexter Loomis.
No, not at all.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Yeah, but it is.
It is. Yeah, we've seen the backstage vignettes of them talking to Uncle Howdy and to themselves and all that kind of stuff. So, and they haven't brought them out to take on big names straight to the top. They've sort of brought it in at the mid card and the Chad Gable stuff. I did see something that. There was a Dakota Kai interview and there was the symbol was behind Dakota Kai. So is that foreshadowing because, turned on their family, turned on Bailey? I don't know, maybe something there to have a look at. But yeah, I think they're doing all right. I'm sort of sick of the music, the beginning of the music though.
Yeah.
That can get a bit annoying.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. But so they've been unmasked. We've got Joe Gacy, we've got Dexter Loomis, we've got Bo Dallas, obviously, we've got Rowan. But we've got Sister Abigail. We don't have
Alexa,
Nikki Cross.
where is she?
We don't have Nikki Cross. They've officially called her Sister Abigail.
Oh, I missed that bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I must have missed that one.
Michael Cole wouldn't shut up about it. Sister Abigail's here. Sister Abigail jumps off.
I do watch Raw on fast forward at times. I'm not going to lie.
It's a tough watch if you don't sometimes. There's a lot of ads in there. Yeah, White 6. I'm happy with how it's going.
Yeah.
They're very slow playing it.
And they're not pushing it too hard, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving it. All right.
What do you got?
I've got Bobby Lashley about to be released. It seems.
Gone.
Now, MVP's in there, Tamina's in there as well, but, such a huge name like Bobby Lashley. He's been in the title picture for years. If he does end up going, I wonder if he just doesn't want to do it anymore. Like, I can't imagine a world where they wouldn't offer him a new contract.
See, the thing for me with Lashley is he's great. Don't get me wrong. Big person, big person, great for the wrestling, but wrestling's not about the big guy anymore. It's sort of past that.
That's
and
true.
he just didn't have any personality for me. He never got over on the mic. So I think it's the little man's game at the moment. And if you can talk and you can do, as Braun says, the flippy floppy stuff, and although they did let go of Ricochet, so I mean maybe it's not just a flippy floppy. But yeah, I'm shocked, but I'm not surprised, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. I mean, it's not like they were doing anything with him anyway. Could he reunite with some of his pals in AEW?
Hey,
We'll find out. Now, something that John Cena has advocated for last year at Money in the Bank has seemingly come to fruition. WrestleMania going to London, possibly. Triple H was having talks with London Mayor. And yeah, talks are that WrestleMania will be going to London. Boo.
Big boo.
Boo.
Like, they asked Jey Uso backstage, and he gave it a big yeet as well about going to WrestleMania in
Here's
London.
what we do, Benny. Here's what we do. The right to host WrestleMania, the Ashes.
Oh, yeah, well, it's ours.
Let's do it.
Bring it on.
Well, no, let's have it for this year. Let's put something
Take
on the
your
line.
ball and
Let's put something on the line. WrestleMania in London, yeah. Look,
we're sitting, you probably can't see, but we're actually sitting here looking at the beautiful Opera House right behind us, live from the Rocks in Sydney. And why would you want to be anywhere else but Australia? So bring it down here, down to Australia.
yeah, enjoy the miserable weather in London.
Trips, I'm looking at you.
Now, my last one for the 3-count-3, something I'm personally a little bit excited about. The Motor City Machine Guns have signed with WWE.
I did see that. I haven't said anything to you because I thought you'd be excited about
I am super excited. I love them as a tag team in, TNA, Impacts, whatever you want to call it. And I think they're awesome. Granted, they're a little bit past their prime.
They are,
but we could get some awesome stuff with those guys. I mean, it's not like Gallows and Anderson are young whippersnappers, or even Ciampa and Gargano.
I was going to say, but I think Motor City versus Ciampa and Gargano, they put on some good matches.
Absolutely. So really looking forward to seeing what they do with them, whether they're in NXT or they go to the main roster, but they're bolstering that tag team division.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, that was the 3-count-3, sponsored by no one yet, but hopefully one day we will find that sponsor. Now we're going to go into the AEW zone. We're going to chat a little bit of AEW. It's official. Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland, career versus title at All In.
Makes sense. His contract runs out today.
Tomorrow, I believe, yeah.
Well, yeah.
When this comes out, it will be today.
Yeah, there you go. So it kind of makes sense. You would like to see Danielson get his name in the record books and get that title, I think, but I think it just takes the title back a step if Swerve loses, for me, personally.
See, he said he was going to quit wrestling full time. He didn't say he was going to quit wrestling. So I think they strap him up. I think it's a sin if Danielson has no title wins to his name in AEW.
Yeah.
Hasn't even won any. The first thing he won was the Owen this year.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, he hasn't won anything else.
Company man. Just puts people over.
Crazy. MJF has renamed the international title the American Championship,
funny.
and he's going along with this all US boy except for the current town that he's in, which is pretty funny.
MJF's always good.
And he will take on Will Ospreay at All In. That should be good. That match they had on Dynamite was epic.
I was just going to say that 5.75 from our boy Meltzer.
Wow.
5.75.
Wow.
Crazy match. Hour long, epic. Even into the crowd, getting beaten up by a little girl. It was pretty good match. But yeah, 5.75 from Meltzer. So he obviously enjoyed it. Wasn't a 6-star, but that's unlike him for an Ospreay match. But anyway.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Not that MJF needs to lift, but they are two generational talents.
100%. The good thing about MJF being back in AEW, I feel like there's some storyline back. I went off AEW for quite a bit there. It just wasn't, but I'm back into it now. He just draws you in and just keeps you entertained for the rest of the show as well, because you never know what's going to happen. So
absolutely. Now, speaking of storyline, where there was no storyline and now there is, Mariah May turning on Tony Storm. It just shows what one segment can just drive this desire to see this match. I really had no desire to see it beforehand. And the turn, the blood.
I was going to say the perfect time for blood. Like, there's always a time for blood, and that was AEW probably showed too much blood. We know that. But that was like a perfect thing. Especially with Toni Storm's character in the black and white, and then the blood. And then she brings out the high heel, the stiletto last week. And it's still got the blood smeared on it. It was very Rock-esque with the title belt and Cody. But, I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's got us enthralled.
I'm keen to see that. Mercedes is taking on Britt Baker at All In. You know, hasn't been such a great build-up yet, but Camille has now joined the Money team. But you know, it's kind of that dream match which we were hoping to get one day. So we will see that at All In. What's your thoughts on Jericho's new gimmick, the learning tree?
Hate it, especially the.
Hi guys.
I am the learning tree. Like, go away. Like, I like Jericho. Don't get me wrong. He keeps trying to reinvent himself, but this one hasn't stuck with me.
For the world title, you're not feeling it?
Nah, it hasn't stuck with me. Sorry.
Do you know what?
You like it, of course you do.
I love it.
Of course you do.
I think it is hilarious.
Says a lot about him, folks. Says a lot about him.
I think it's hilarious. A guy who thinks he knows everything, and he wants to be like this wise locker room leader. Very funny. I like it.
Yeah,
but he needs time to grow.
It's very contrasting. You'd either love it or hate it. And I think perfect example.
Yeah. Darby is taking on Jack Perry for the TNT Championship at All In. Now, what did you think of Blood and Guts?
It was solid. I hated the finish.
Yeah.
Hated the finish. Only because it just felt weak. Like, yes, okay, they're not going to set him on fire. I get that.
Like, am I supposed to believe that Darby Allin is going to murder someone to win a match?
Gimmick something up. Put him in a coffin. Set the coffin on fire. You know, Darby Allin does the coffin drop.
Yeah.
He could have done the coffin drop, rolled him into a coffin. That's what he's brought to the ring.
Hire this man, TK. He's got ideas.
Set the coffin on fire. Then we believe it. Because
Yeah.
you know they can gimmick that up and he could roll under the ring or whatever else. You know, what we don't see, we believe. Cool. If he set him on fire, and Jack Perry, not like when they set Kane on fire back in 1998 or whatever it was, or 2002, whatever it was, he had that, you could see the flame retardant stuff on his arm the whole match. Like, Jack Perry doesn't wear much. He tipped it on his hair. Unless they were going to let him go bald and put him straight out. That was the only way. So it was very unbelievable in a sense. But I guess that made the submission and the I quit mean more because the scapegoat, again, is the scapegoat for the loss.
Well, but he didn't quit.
No, he didn't.
That's
why they had to quit because of him. So he's the scapegoat again. But it just sort of fell weak for me. But the match was okay.
Yeah.
That chair shot was pretty brutal.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure too many people were a fan of that.
No. I have read that chair was marked differently and it was a gimmick chair. But again, we don't know.
Well, hey, you know, cry about it.
Who cares? Yeah.
Jack Perry.
Hey, he would have used real glass. So that's
right.
all that matters.
That's right. You got anything else for AEW?
Sammy Guevara's back in Ring of Honor.
Ah, nice.
So, I mean, they're bringing him back that route, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, there's obviously...
Sammy's got a tough road ahead of him, I think, if he wants to climb up to where he was. But
I just noticed that he's back, so that's one thing. And just all in, the card just looks good.
It's starting to really come together.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
All right. Now, speaking of big cards, it is time for us to get to SummerSlam. We're going to take you through all the matches here and give our predictions. We will kick things off with the Intercontinental Championship match. Sami Zayn against Bron Breakker. Benny, where do you think this one goes?
Look, it's time for Bron to get the title. I think, you know, he lost the last one. He wins this time over. I think this is probably the easiest pick on the card, to be honest. Bron goes over in this match.
Yeah, you're 100% right there. Easiest pick on the card.
Yeah.
You know, so we weren't going to talk too much about odds now, but Bron Breakker's paying $1.10. So
yeah, there you go.
Even the bookmakers think it. So yeah, I've got Bron Breakker as well. You know, I think it's just going to be one of those ones where Sammy finally can't get up.
Yeah. He's going to cop a lot of spears.
Yeah. The United States Championship match, Logan Paul and LA Knight.
Yeah.
I'm siding with the favourite, LA Knight, on this one too. You know, Logan Paul's had his time with the title. It's time to strap up LA Knight. Have that title be defended a little bit more.
Yeah. Even though Logan said he's full-time now, he's still not defending it and stuff.
No.
LA will be a fighting champ. I think LA goes over as well, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Logan's not a professional wrestler yet.
No.
In that he can have matches week in, week out, night in, night out. So Yeah, I think strap up night and Logan Paul coming back is just a spectacle in itself. So.
100%. And there'll be some shenanigans that go on and stuff like that. He's going to have to overcome them. And I think, everybody's wanted the movement to happen for a while, and it hasn't. It's fallen flat. And if he doesn't get this title, I think he just drops further down. Yeah. And that's going to really affect him, and he's going to lose all his momentum completely.
And it might affect T-shirt sales. So LA Knight to be strapped up.
Yeah.
The WWE Women's Championship, Bayley against Nia Jax. Where are you going with this one?
It's Tiffy time.
It's Tiffy time.
It's Tiffy time, baby. Cashing in.
Wow.
Tiffy's cashing in. I don't even know if somebody will go over first before she cashes in. I think she might just turn on Nia and cash in, pin Bayley after a couple of Samoan drops and whatever else she does. The what's she call it? Or whatever she calls that move where she sits on them and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, the Devastator or something like that. Annihilator, something
Annihilator,
like that.
There you go, that's the one. But I'm going, it's Tiffy time, baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, calling it now.
Well, I am taking Nia Jax in this one. I think Tiffy helps her win. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of reasons why I don't think it's Tiffy time. We haven't seen the bedazzled briefcase yet.
Oh.
Which she teased in the press conference after Money in the Bank, and Nia Jax said she was going to buy her a new briefcase. So, and I think we have fun with this whole will she cash in on Nia, won't she shtick for a little while.
Don't mind it.
Nia Jax there for me. Women's World Championship match: Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. I'm taking Liv Morgan in this one. It just doesn't make sense to strap her up and then have Rhea take the title straight off her. I did notice, once again I said we weren't going to talk too much about odds. Yesterday Liv was paying $2.40. Today she's paying $1.40.
Yeah, okay.
So they've flip-flopped the market. But yeah, that didn't make sense to me. Either Dom or Finn helps Liv win.
Yeah, look, I've got exactly the same. I've got Liv here. I've literally written here dirty Dom ? So I think there's two things that can happen on this card. It's either going to be Judgment Day, like dissension in the main, like Punk and Drew, or it happens here. So I don't think both can happen.
No.
Right? So I think Dom will just accidentally cost Rhea the win.
That makes sense.
So that way, if he just turns, because they can keep running with this whole, Liv can come out on Raw and say, oh, he did that deliberately for me, Daddy Dom, I knew you loved me, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, it was an accident, or they can play on that for another month, which is great. Again, where does Finn play in all of this? I mean, they could just break down the whole Judgment Day, and then it could be Finn, Liv, and Dom tomorrow on the next day on Raw. But also,
do we get new Judgment Day versus old Judgment Day?
There we go. Hey, you never know.
Survivor Series.
Finn, Dom could turn on Rhea, and then Finn comes out, and Liv just shuns Dom and goes, "Was never about you," and then starts making out with Finn.
Yeah.
That could be something. But yeah, I'm gonna call accidentally cost Rhea the title, and Liv goes over here. Just causes a little bit of dissension in the Judgment Day for later on.
Okay, yeah, they're going to keep running with it. I think Liv wins, and I think it's going to be Finn. That has something to do with it. All right, we now have the match everyone has been waiting for. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, guest referee Seth Rollins. How do you see this one going, Benny? They're very even for the bookies.
SummerSlam has a history of guest referees and screwing over, and Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Bret Hart. We all remember that one. I think Seth's going to slow count for both people. It's going to be a slow count for both. Each person's going to have the up. They're going to turn on Seth. He's going to be like, and then I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going Drew's going to go over.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think Drew's going over as much as I'd love to see Punk go over. I think something happens where Rollins costs Punk. Because I don't know if they can continue this Drew. Like, if Drew loses here, where do you go with Drew?
Yeah.
Like, does he just get more pissed off? I mean, no, it doesn't really work. You got to give him something now so they can go and brag about it, and Punk can just be like, all right, you beat me, whatever, I don't care, I got screwed over. Let's go straight into this Rollins feud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the way I see that going. Drew McIntyre as well for me. World Heavyweight Championship match, Damian Priest and Gunther. I'm taking the upset here. I think Damian Priest is going to hold the title.
Stop looking at my notes.
Oh, I did not see them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've got Priest as well. Again, I just said a second ago about Judgment Day. I said Punk and Drew. I meant Priest and Gunther. Again, where does this whole dissension and Judgment Day thing come into it? My thought was Judgment Day, namely Finn, helps Priest win. Priest will hate that.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want them to help.
He hasn't had a clean win yet.
Yes.
And he just wants one.
I think it's just hard for Gunther to lose clean after just not long. Has he had a match since he lost his IC title?
No.
That's what I mean. So can't have 2 losses in a row after they've built him up so much with that long title reign. So he has to lose. He might win, but it'll be a DQ.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm saying who walks out with the title is Priest. Priest might lose, but Priest will have the title at the end of the night. That's for me.
I think Priest is going to win, but not clean.
Yeah.
That way they both come out fine. Priest has still got more to go on with Balor and Okay, I like it. Undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa. Where are you going with this one, Benny?
Is it just me, or does this just not seem like it should be the main event? Like, is it going to be the main event?
I don't know if it will be. I mean, they've been pumping this Priest-Gunther matchup. Maybe it's not going to be the main event.
Yeah, I don't know.
But sometimes they'll have that as the main event if someone comes back at the end.
I was just going to say, it says it right here. Will we see Roman? If it's the main event, we see Roman. In my opinion. I think Roman makes a comeback. He's made a comeback at SummerSlam before. 2000, I think it was, with The Fiend and Braun.
2020?
2020.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2020, yeah. I don't know, I'm getting old, sorry.
I don't remember him in that triple threat with The Rock and Triple H and Kurt
Yeah, so I think, will we see, obviously the Bloodline's going to play a big role. There's no Kevin Owens on the card. Does he come out? Randy Orton, do they come out to try and even the odds, essentially? WWE have signed Hikuleo. Does he come out? And then Roman comes out to even the odds again.
Do we see, I mean, Jay's not on the card. Jimmy's been gone.
Well, I mean, there is enough for the Bloodline that they still need an extra one as well. So, yeah. But I'm thinking the unveiling of Hikuleo will come into it, and then I think we see Roman. Cody's not losing either way. No matter what happens, Cody's not losing the title. So I should have just said that from the beginning. So
Yeah, I'm with you. Cody wins, and I don't think Roman's coming out. The bookies do think he's coming out. I don't think he does. I think it might be Jimmy. It might be Jay. Probably Jay, to be honest. To kind of battle off the rest of the Bloodline, and Cody retains. All right, there you have it. That is the SummerSlam card. Time to get into 3-count draft. Best SummerSlam moments. A long, long time ago when we did our last podcast, Benny, you drafted first. So it is my turn.
That's good, because I don't really have a clear number one. I've just got all of them that are good, so it doesn't really matter.
So we're going to go 4 rounds deep. So we'll have 4 selections by the end of it. Number 1 for me, you probably guessed this. It's a gimme. It's Shawn Michaels' return. Shawn Michaels returned to the ring. He was away for 4.5 years. He won the match against Triple H. He wrestled in a pair of jeans. Triple H takes him out with a sledgehammer at the end of it, and he gets wheeled out. But 2002, the return of Shawn Michaels. 2002?
It was a good year, 2002.
Yeah.
See, I've got plenty on here, and I don't know which to go first. So I was gonna go with a bit of a homer pick, but I feel like you won't take it, so it doesn't matter.
Won't I?
I'm going to go for one, still a bit of a homer pick. I'm a big Randy Orton fan. 2004, he beat He Who Shall Not Be Named to win his first world championship. He was the youngest world champion at the time. So, yeah, Randy Orton, 2004, winning the title.
I did have that on my list too. Not as high up, but it was definitely not expected.
No.
And, it led to, the big thumbs up, thumbs down, and I loved Randy at that time.
Yeah,
he was
Randy
so cool. All right, number 2. Oh, we've got a lot of good stuff here. All right. This is one that really sticks with me. And it's probably not on your list, to be honest, but it's something that stuck with me, and I was super keen to see it. And that is Matt Hardy taking on Edge in 2005 with the whole leader thing. And it was like, it really thought these guys were trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
It seemed really different than anything else that we'd ever seen. Granted, it wasn't an amazing match, but they just beat the tar out of each other.
Yeah.
And it felt real.
100%. Great pick. All right, I might save the next one. I'm going to go back. Well, you said 2002, so I'm going to go 2002. And again, first time somebody won a title was Brock beating The Rock.
Jeez, you're going with youngest champions a bit, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I like it. It sets them up. Look what they've both become. Brock and Randy have both become massive in the game and some of the greats. So I think Brock beating Rock at SummerSlam 2002 was a pretty big moment.
Absolutely. All right. I mean, Lesnar appears quite a bit on this
Same.
list. All right. What are we going? What are we going with here? There's a lot of options.
I feel like we could have done 10 each on this one.
We could have. We want to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Keep it short and sweet. I'm going to take the custody of Dirty Dom.
Oh, it was on there.
Another 2005er. I mean, kind of hilarious now.
No, but it fits even more now because he looks like Eddie. It's like Eddie should have won the match.
Yeah,
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
With Dominic's mum, holding Eddie back and Ray climbing the ladder. It was a funny concept, but they took it to like a really serious kind of
one of the best things about that though was the vignette before they started, like just what had already happened and everything else, like the package they played before the actual match and stuff like that. Just the build up. Like, remember back when you had to pay for the PLEs, now the pay-per-views, and you could watch the preview show
for free.
Yeah. And that was just like, you watch that and the build up for it was like, oh my God, like who's his dad? Like what's going on? I love that. That was good. That's a great pick.
That was amazing. So yeah, Ray and Eddie. And of course, it has the amazing Eddie Guerrero in it. And Ray, when he was, I don't know if he's prime Ray, but he's up there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, look, we've done a SummerSlam one before, so I'm probably going to leave out what I've had before because we used matches last time, and two of my list were matches. I'll throw them out there at the end, honorable mention. But for moments, I guess this is what we're calling it, SummerSlam moments. This one here, I think, was 2000. Shane O'Mac versus Steve Blackman. It still sticks in my mind. The SummerSlam sign was just that big green sign. It was so iconic. And then he hits him with the kendo stick and he must be 50 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Just falls off the Titantron. It was epic. And it sticks in my mind whenever I think SummerSlam. So
was that Shane's first ever big fall?
I can't remember if the one when he jumped
They're
off.
all falls, really.
Yeah. The one when he jumped off onto the Big Show in the Last Man Standing match, that might have been after it. And then Tess used the boom mic to hold him up to win the... But yeah, no, 2000, Shane O'Mac falls off the Titantron.
All right, I like it. Where do we go here? My last pick. All right, I better make it count. And I might be like you. I won't. There's a lot of great matches, but I'm not gonna pick a match. I'm gonna pick a moment. And all right, I'm gonna take. I mean, it is kind of fresh in my mind. Lesnar lifting the ring with the tractor.
It was on my list.
For a moment, granted, he lost the match and they buried him under anything they could find.
Anything they could, yeah.
But that ring lifted up.
And you just see Roman fall.
The legit look of fear in Roman's eyes when he starts tumbling.
I love it.
Lesnar lifting the ring up with a tractor, 2022.
Brilliant. Well, my last pick sort of stems a little bit, or predates that a little bit. And I just mentioned it just before. I'm going to go with Roman's return in 2020. He came out in that match. Nobody expected him to come back. He'd been off the shelf for 6 months or something.
Is that the leukemia?
The second time around, yeah. And then he came out, he had those big white teeth. Remember, he got his teeth done as well. And everyone was like, what is going on
The bars of soap.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at where he went on over the next, now 3.5 years, he went on one of the longest championship runs, and that was the beginning of this new Roman. And it became the bloodline story, which has been the most prevalent story in wrestling recently. So it really just rolled on from there. So Roman returning as not the big dog anymore as the head of the table. Essentially, it was led into that. So that's my last pick.
All right. Honourable mentions, Benny. What do you got? I've got a huge list, but I'll
many.
keep it short.
Obviously, Wembley, 92, 80,000 people.
The handshake.
And
I had the handshake as the moment where Bulldog won.
Just the roll up.
Brett was
the family comes in.
Brett was not happy about it, and he sucked it up and shook his hand.
Well, Brett wasn't happy about it because he had to carry him for the match because he was off his head.
Yeah.
And
Brett was never happy about a lot. To be
No.
honest.
Suplex City 2014.
Oh yeah.
And Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth getting married in 91.
Elizabeth.
91.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge one. I've got Becky's return, and she beats Belair in 26 seconds.
Yeah.
Lesnar's assault on Orton, which led to
Clean.
Shane got F5, and then Jericho confronted Lesnar backstage after Michael Hayes wouldn't tell him if it was work or not.
Yeah, brilliant.
Good stuff there. Orton cashing in on Daniel Bryan after being, finally the Yes Movement. They got the world title and he held it for about a minute.
Yeah.
Very funny in hindsight, probably wasn't at the time. Taker chokeslamming Edge to hell in 2008.
First ever TLC 2000.
First ever TLC. Paul Bearer betraying Undertaker.
The Mankind.
Yeah. And one which I love, and it's definitely an honourable mention. I'll never make the list, but Goldberg spearing Jericho through the Elimination Chamber pod in 2003.
I've just got a little tidbit as well that I just come across this. 1988, Brutus the Barber Beefcake was meant to fight for the IC title. Right? He pulled out against the Honky Tonk Man. The Ultimate Warrior replaced him and won that match, and it became, the Ultimate Warrior winning the IC title. 1990, Brutus the Barber Beefcake was meant to have an IC title match against Mr. Perfect. He pulled out at the last minute. Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich came in, went straight through Mr. Perfect and won the title. So if you're the IC champ and your match is against Brutus the Barber Beefcake and he pulls out,
look out.
Just don't go out there because you're going to lose your IC title. Just a little tidbit, little trivia for you guys.
I love it. All right, best SummerSlam moments. I have the return of HBK, Edge and Matt Hardy finally getting their hands over against each other. Ray winning the custody of Dirty Dom. And Lesnar lifting the ring with a tractor in 2022. Benny's got Orton becoming the youngest champion at the time, beating the man Voldemort. Lesnar beating The Rock to win the Undisputed title, and then he became, Orton was later. He became the youngest champion. Anyway, Shane getting kendo sticked off the scaffolding in 2000, and Roman Reigns' return in 2020. That was a tough one to narrow down.
So many. I was just down a rabbit hole, essentially. I was like, oh, that could be good. But again, a lot of them were matches. I have Brett and Owen steel cage match 94, but I used that last time, so.
Is Roman's return 2024 going to make the list at some point?
Hey, look, maybe.
All right, there you have it. That is it for our SummerSlam preview. We'll be back next week to discuss everything that happened at the biggest party of the summer. For myself, Dylan Chambers, my co-host, Benny Hobden, thanks for joining us. Enjoy SummerSlam, and we'll see you next time on the 3 Count Podcast.